Rise and shine, my loves. It's time to figure out if people are assholes. Hey, babes. Welcome back to Moonbae Crochet. It is Brandy, and today I wanted to try something new. I thought it would be kind of fun to read only like a little handful of r/am I the asshole stories, but ones that particularly pertain to crochet. Obviously, we got to keep it within the niche. I just thought it'd be fun to try something new here, so if you just want something to throw on while you're crocheting, here I am, here for another good old-fashioned yap sesh. I'm going to read these stories, probably give my opinions on them, and then maybe read the little responses and stuff that people leave under them, and yeah, I don't know. So grab your beverage, grab your work in progress, your hook, whatever else you need to get all nice and cozy, and let's get into this. But a real quick introduction in case you are new here. My name is Brandy. I do a lot of crochet content, lots of crochet and chit chat type of videos. I do Roll for Crochet, which is a series where I let fate decide my next crochet project. I share patterns that I love. I give pattern reviews. So if any of that type of stuff sounds interesting to you, I would love for you to consider sticking around, maybe subscribing, all that nice stuff. And yeah, hope you enjoy the video. So hopping right in here, I am reading, like if you see me looking down, I'm reading off of my little tablet. But okay, this story is titled, "Am I the asshole for refusing to crochet something for my brother's future baby after years of teasing?" Question mark. Wild title. I, 27 male, have never been like the other men in my family. I'm introverted, artistic, and would rather cosplay than play sports. Love that play on words. At age 14, my great-grandmother moved in with us and she taught me how to crochet. I love that. I loved it, but my brothers, Jim, 27 male, and Tim, 27 male, so I'm assuming they're twins, used to tease me constantly for it when she wasn't around, and whenever I would complain, my dad told me that life's full of people who are going to call me names and that I needed to toughen up. I honestly think he was just disappointed that I wasn't an extroverted jock like him and his other sons, felt like he could just pressure me into becoming more like him. When my great-grandmother died, she didn't have much, but she specifically left me her crochet hooks, and I was very touched. She also left my cousin an unfinished baby socks that she was crocheting for the... Wow, okay. Quick lesson for Brandy. Reading stuff like r/am I the asshole content really teaches you whether or not you know how to read or not. Let's try this again. When my great-grandmother died, she didn't have much, but she specifically left me her crochet hooks, and I was very touched. She also left my cousin an unfinished baby sock that she was crocheting for my cousin's baby, and I could tell my cousin was disappointed. We kind of had this tradition of our great-grandmother making things for the coming babies. I offered to finish what our great-grandmother started using her hooks, and my cousin was thrilled at the gesture. After that, I kind of inherited the position of crocheting things for any new babies in the family, and I rather enjoyed it because it felt like I was carrying on a legacy. Although it did nothing to stop my immediate family from making jokes and calling me names. Despite the constant attacks on my sexuality, Jim, ironically, came out as gay and has since apologized for his past treatment of me, so we're on good terms, but Tim is still a jerk to me. When I went to college, I went low contact with Tim and my father and would just tolerate them at family events. Last week, Tim announced that he and his girlfriend, Tina, 24 female, were engaged and were expecting their first child over social media, and everyone was thrilled. During a Zoom meeting with the family, Tina said that she would love a matching blanket, little hat, and shoes for the baby from me, and I asked her to send me a copy of her registry for baby clothes. Tim laughed and said everyone knows that it's tradition that I make the items. I told him flat out that he doesn't get to make fun of my skills as a crocheter and then expect free labor from me. I heard that, okay? What was his name again? Oh, he didn't give his name. Well, I heard that, okay? Yes, boy. You tell him. My dad said that I was being rude and needed to apologize. I countered that if Tim was hurt by my refusal to crochet for him, then he should just toughen up and get over it, and left the call. Since then, I've been getting text messages from my parents and Tim saying that I'm being petty and a jerk to Tina and the baby, but I haven't responded. Am I the asshole for refusing to crochet something for my brother's baby after years of teasing. Okay, well, that's where the story ends, and then there's a couple edits, but I would like to give my 2 cents on this. And obviously, I know I was kind of interjecting a little bit in there. Hell no! The original poster is not the asshole in this situation. Are you joking? No, you don't get to be my whole life making fun of me just because I am a boy and I like to crochet. And, I learned this skill from our great grandmother, mind you. And, I'm not like you. You get to make fun of me that whole time. And then all of a sudden, just because I have this tradition of making things for the new babies, I'm expected to just make your baby something. Like, no, sorry. Like, yeah, I'm probably going to love your baby and stuff. That's like my little niece or nephew. But like, no, absolutely not. You, Tim, you jerk. That's not cool at all. I would absolutely be, I'm on the same page. I'm backing up original poster. I ride for them at dawn because no, you don't get to be a dick and then expect something in return for that. You don't get to be rewarded for bad behavior, Tim. Let's check out the edits. The last time my dad and Tim made fun of or harassed me for crocheting something was last year at Christmas. It's not like they stopped teasing me, calling me rude names, or questioning my manhood when I went to college. Yeah, so I mean, this is an ongoing thing. It's not like this just happened when you were younger. They're still kind of doing it up until recent dates. No, your baby doesn't get shit. I'll buy you something off of your registry and let's move along. Let's see what people have to say. This isn't about Tina or the baby. It's about Tim being horrible to you about a skill of yours he now wants to reap the benefits of. It's not as if you said you wouldn't buy a gift either. Yeah. Now that would be petty. Yeah, exactly. You went low contact with Tim, so I'm assuming that you don't have a very close relationship with Tina. So why is she ordering all of these items from you? Is it because Tim promised things he couldn't deliver? Has Tim misrepresented the relationship between the two of you? Sounds like it, and Tim doesn't like that. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. And this person is not the asshole. I'm gonna just move on to the next story, but yeah, I am completely on the side of the original poster. You're not the asshole, sweetheart. I mean, I know this was posted years ago and I'm just like reading an old story, but yeah, like, no. Tim doesn't get to reap the benefits of this skill that you learned and you took the time to hone from your great grandmother. No. Moving on. Okay, I feel like this is a story that I have heard because the title sounds familiar, but I don't really remember it, so we're going to go ahead and read this one. The title of this one is, Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law it's rude to crochet everywhere? Well, let's see. My sister-in-law does crochet. Okay, does crochet. Okay, sorry. My sister-in-law does crochet. It's literally become her personality. She started doing it after her and my brother experienced a second trimester loss earlier in the year. Now she does it everywhere. I work in the same place she does, and I've seen her crocheting at her desk during her breaks and lunch. My brother says it's how she relaxes. Apparently, it helps her calm her busy mind. Every week or so, we have family dinners over at my parents' house. Since sister-in-law has been crocheting, she brings it with her. She just sits in the corner after dinner working on a project. My brother often sits with her, and they'll talk quietly. Both her and my brother are quite introverted. If she ends up sitting with my wife or another sister-in-law, she's crocheting. I recently invited her and my brother to watch a film at mine, and again, she was sat crocheting through the whole film. It's rude because she's not paying attention to anyone. Tonight, my brother posted a picture of them where they were out having a couple drinks in the pub. Yet again, she was crocheting. It was on the table in the picture. In the comments, she was joking with her friends that she'll be able to see where on her whip that she got drunk, as it'll be all drop stitches and she'll have to start again. Her social media is full of posts about crochet, about what she's working on, the yarn or pattern she's bought, or their trips she and my brother take or go to specific yarn stores. I've had enough of her being rude, and I commented under the post that it was rude that she kept crocheting everywhere and she needed to stop being so antisocial all the time. She didn't comment back, but one of her friends did tell me to F off and that she can crochet wherever and whenever she wants. I responded by saying that in that case, crocheting is banned in my house, so she'll have to socialize in the future. My brother deleted my comments before sister-in-law got to see them. I know this because he told me when he messaged me telling me that I was being a prick and her crocheting wasn't hurting anyone. He said that she's currently crocheting all the time because she's making gifts for family and friends. BS, because we don't do gifts for adults in the family anymore. He told me that they wouldn't be coming around anymore until I apologized to sister-in-law. I'm not apologizing because it's rude not to be giving people your full attention. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law that it's rude to crochet everywhere? Okay, first of all, what the is this mess? This feels very like, oh, like, why do you care? If I don't understand. If you have like family over for like a movie night or whatever, and you're really into this movie for some reason, and like you're enjoying it and other people are enjoying it, and she's like, you know, maybe she doesn't really feel like watching the movie or something, but she still came to like hang out, and she is just minding her business crocheting, and she's not distracting anybody, and she's not like having a full-blown conversation while this movie is going on. If she's not doing anything that's like harming the situation or harming anybody else, why does it bother you that she's not like paying attention or giving other people attention? Like, she just wants to crochet. She went through a very traumatic event in her life, so then she picked up this hobby that makes her feel good inside, and now she's just found that she really likes to do it all the time, so wherever she goes, she brings it with her. I do that. If I know I'm just gonna go to family's house and hang out, I bring my crochet stuff because, like, I don't know. To me, I feel as though there's always ways to be optimizing my time. Not to sound like a hustle culture bro, but I just feel as though if we're just going to be sitting around watching TV or whatever, or like football, for example, when football season is like going on, I bring my crochet stuff because what? Like, what? This just seems like no brainer to me. I love to take my crochet stuff whenever we're gonna go somewhere too. Like, I don't know, they mentioned the pub thing. Like, there's been times where my man has been like, oh, like, you know, they're not showing the Bills game on TV. We're gonna go to like Chili's or we're gonna go to B-Dubs. And he tells me like, why don't you bring your crochet? And a lot of times I'm like, no, I'll just leave it here because I don't want to get it dirty, or I don't want it like taking up a lot of room on the table. But like, even he knows, like, you know, if we're gonna go somewhere, why don't you bring your stuff so you can work on it, you know, so that you're, one, either not bored, even though it's impossible to be bored doing a Bills game, but two, just because it's like, you know, why not? Like, you know, he knows that my brain likes to be stimulated in that way. He knows that it's something that I love to be doing all the time. So rather than, you know, it feeling like he's pulling me away from my crochet, he's like, well, why don't you bring it with you? And then we can both do this thing. And, you know, it's like a cool experience. And I love that about him. I love the support. I didn't know that there was people out here hating on the fact that people are taking their crochet everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and give my stamp of approval for yes, you are the asshole, buddy. I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't see why this is a problem. Now let's see what people have to say. Yes, the asshole. But I think it's great that you said that she can't come to your house because it will give her more time with her husband and with people who are kind to her. You sound awful in general, so I'm not sure anyone should listen to your idea of what is rude. True. Crocheting while watching a film isn't rude. Crocheting on work breaks isn't rude. Yeah, seriously. Okay, first of all, like, hello? I get to do what I want with my free time at work. Crocheting in a living room during a casual family get-together isn't rude. Being a quiet introvert isn't rude. Having a hobby you enjoy and talking about it on social media isn't rude, and it's pretty much what social media is for. She is actively participating in events with family and with friends. She's joking with friends. She sounds like she's doing fine. Being controlling and insulting is rude, though. You're rude. I love that. Yep. Somebody replied to that and said, right? 3 guesses why sister-in-law isn't talking to OP at family dinners. Hello, garbage truck. Hi. Why while I'm filming? Why? Are we done? Is it over? Oh. Okay. Well, during this brief intermission, how's everybody's day going? What did you get to drink? I have a double shot espresso with some almond milk and a little bit of I got this new coffee creamer. It's butter pecan. I think it says old fashioned butter pecan, but yeah, delicious. First of all, okay, I think they finally left. Back to it. Somebody replied to that response. And they said, right? 3 guesses why sister-in-law isn't talking to original poster at family dinners. Also loved how original poster described sister-in-law socializing with everyone but them, and then said they were sick of sister-in-law not socializing. Sounds like she is actually going out of her way to be as polite as possible without having to deal with original poster and their attitude. Yeah, maybe it's not her. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe she just doesn't like you. All right, so yeah, we're going to move on from that one. We're going to go ahead and say, yes, you are the asshole. Your sister-in-law doesn't have to stop crocheting, and I think she just has to stop going over to your place because what the fuck? All right, we're going to go ahead and just end it off on this one. 3 stories for today. We'll see how you guys like this. If you do, then I'm going to do some more research and dig up some more of these and see if we can keep this going. So, this one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Asking a Guest Not to Crochet at My Bachelorette Party? Okay. Let's get into this. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I was supposed to state this beforehand, but I haven't read any of these stories, like beforehand. I just saw the titles and I thought, okay, let me throw that one in there. So I'm reading them live for the first time on camera. That's kind of why I keep like interjecting a little bit, throwing my little 2 cents in there. I'll try not to do that. I'll try to save my thoughts for the end. But whatever. Okay. I'm 28 female, getting married this year. Yay. And went on my bachelorette party trip last weekend. The trip was to a cabin type setting where we all stayed in the same house. I have 3 bridesmaids, but also invited some friends to come along. Part of the group is my brother's girlfriend, 36 female, brother is 38 male, of 5 months, who isn't in the wedding party. Okay, hold on. They've only been together 5 months and you invited her to your bachelorette? Girl, I know I said I wasn't going to interject. I'm sorry. I think that was a lie. She wasn't initially invited because I don't know her too well. Okay, see. See, this is why I shouldn't talk and I should just keep reading. She wasn't initially invited because I don't know her well and they live in another state. But my brother asked me to invite her as a favor to him. He said that she's never been invited to a bachelorette and likely never would be. I have no idea why. This is just what he told me. And hoped she could have this experience. Okay. Really quick, can I just say, like, the fact that he said she's never been invited to a bachelorette party and she most likely never will be. Like, okay, on one hand, I'm like, well, she's kind of in the age where probably a lot of her friends are already married or whatever. But also, they've been dating for 5 months, and he's saying that she'll likely never get to go on a bachelorette trip. Does that mean you don't see any type of future here? Like, she couldn't have her own bachelorette party one day? I don't know. Anyway, since people would be paying their own way and the group wasn't large, I figured, why not? She seemed nice enough. The problem is that during the weekend, she would insist on crocheting all the time, even during our events and games. When I asked her to participate with us, she said that she took time off for the trip and wanted to make the most of her vacation by catching up on her crochet projects. And that playing games and hanging out with my friends wasn't fun, and she didn't want to waste her days off. All her words, not mine. Oh no. To be clear, I don't care that she wants to crochet in general. Most of our activities ended after dinner anyways, and we'd just hang out in the living room. I just asked her to save the crocheting for at night after the activities. My issue is that she was taking her crocheting with us to places like wine tasting, brunch, a museum tour, etc. It was super disrespectful in my eyes because she'd insist on coming yet wouldn't participate in the activity. Honestly, I was bothered that she was crocheting when we were playing bridal games, but at least she was in our living room. The trip's over now, but apparently she was super peeved that I asked her to limit her crocheting time, and my brother's been pestering me to apologize to her for ruining her trip. I personally don't feel like I should, because she shouldn't have come to a bachelorette party if she didn't want to do bachelorette-y things. But I also love my brother very much, and I didn't want this to come between us. I'm starting to doubt myself because his girlfriend sounds really annoyed with me. Please help. Okay, listen, sweetheart. As an avid crocheter myself, as somebody who does like to take my crochet with me everywhere, you are not the asshole here. I can't even fathom this, first of all. Like, you are the bride. You are the sister to my boyfriend, right? And your brother insists on me going on this bachelorette party so I can have this experience that I'm most likely never going to have otherwise. And then I'm getting annoyed with you that you are doing bachelorette party things on your bachelorette party. Hello? If she took time off of work to have a vacation, then she could have just done that. She could have just gone on her own little vacation, or she could have taken a staycation, just stayed home and crocheted and taken the time off of work to do that. You don't go to a bachelorette party expecting to not participate in the events and just sit around and crochet. No, that even sounds lame to me. That's my initial reaction. Let's read these edits. Ooh, they're all nice and like bullet pointed. She said, edit. I wanted to add some details in case it helps because I think some people think I'm being a bridezilla. Well, first of all, I don't think that, but let's go. Number 1, she was crocheting a throw blanket about the width of my entire arm span. That's what she was carrying with her to dinner, museums, wineries, etc. It wasn't some small thing the size of my palm. She also had the materials for the blanket with her, about 5 balls of yarn, ? I'm not sure what you'd call it, but each ball was about the size of a cantaloupe, a cake. Number 2, we gave her the option to stay home. I told her I wouldn't be offended if this trip wasn't her style and she wanted to spend it crocheting, but she insisted on coming out with us to every single event. See, that's the thing that I don't get. Why? Why insist on going? Like, are you trying to, make it look good because your man vouched for you or whatever? There's no point in going, especially if the bride is the one telling you hey, if you just want to stay back and crochet here, I'm cool with that. I'm not going to be offended. And you insist on going, but then you don't participate and you bring your crochet with you anyways. It's why did you even go? Number 3, even though my brother asked me to bring her, she admitted to me that she wanted to come and that she had asked my brother to ask me. Okay, that's even more so you insisted that you wanted to go to your boyfriend's sister's bachelorette party, and then now you're mad that she didn't want you crocheting. She wanted you to participate. This is not making sense here. Number 4, she doesn't have social anxiety. She just thought our activities were boring and a waste of her time. I mentioned this in another comment, but I overheard her calling my party a oh my god, I'm sorry, I read ahead. I mentioned this in another comment, but I overheard her calling my party a basic bitch bachelorette. But I didn't want to confront her because I didn't want to cause drama. Girl, that would have been it for me. I would have been get the out of my cabin. Go find your own goddamn hotel room. You. No. That's not cool. And number 5. My biggest issue isn't that she wasn't giving me attention. Please, I am a grown adult and okay, first of all, I think this lady needs to talk to the last one about, she's not watching the movies and she's just crocheting. You need to have a conversation with that guy because I'm pretty sure he's a grown man. And anyway, my biggest issue isn't that she wasn't giving me attention. Please, I'm a grown adult and already thankful for the friends giving me love and joy during the weekend. I just thought it was super rude to crochet such a big project during group activities. She literally brought her blanket to a museum and crocheted during a private tour. Yeah, no, sweetheart, you're not the asshole, and I'm so sorry that even put a damper on your bachelorette weekend, because that these are supposed to be the memories that you carry with you into your old age, and now it's always going to have that little ink, that little stain on it. Ugh, I took my brother's girlfriend, who probably who knows if that relationship is even gonna last, and your brother asked you, well, okay, apparently she coerced him into asking, so I guess he didn't just do it out of the kindness of his heart, which I guess good on him, sort of, but you agreed, she came, she kind of ruined it. I hope that she had fun regardless though, because no, but I will say you have my stamp of approval. You're definitely not the asshole. Let's see what people have to say. This one says, so do we maybe see why brother's girlfriend would never be invited to a bachelorette party? Not the asshole. I'm super curious about whether brother's girlfriend even wanted to go on this bachelorette weekend, or whether it might have just been your brother's idea, and that answer changes how much I judge the girlfriend here. If this was your brother's idea, Her a-holery is super mild. She had vacation time. This is what she wanted to do with it. Your brother set this trip up so that she could spend some time with you. It's unfortunate that he inserted himself here and ruined both of your weekends. If she made the suggestion herself, then she is wildly a-hole-ish. You don't need to sit around at a wine tasting doing crochet, and more importantly, no one with much sense of etiquette would. Exactly. It's one thing if you're sitting around the house in those quiet evenings. Yes, by all means, relax how you want. But during the scheduled events, don't come on the trip if you don't want to participate in things. Exactly. The worst part is that if she had done one or two things, maybe the wine tasting or the games without the crochet, and had just told you that she was shy or quiet or an introvert with a limited social battery, this would have been fine. You would have cared more that she did the one or two things than she crocheted during all of the other things. Somebody said, your brother literally said he wanted her to go because she'd never been invited to a bachelorette and she hoped she could have the experience, but instead of her being in the moment and actually participating to get the experience, she closed herself off by focusing on crocheting. You didn't ruin her trip. She imposed on your trip and isolated herself. You have nothing to apologize for, not the asshole. And I wholeheartedly agree. I'm not always going to back up the crocheter, y'all. Like, sometimes, people are just assholes, okay? It's not because they crochet or because they don't. But regardless, that is what I have for you today. So if you ended up liking this style of video, please feel free to let me know and I can see if I can do another one. This was actually really fun. I liked kind of sitting here and reading a story. This definitely taught me a lot about whether or not I know how to read. I get tongue-tied like so incredibly easy. It's not even funny. So it was a little bit challenging, but I did have fun here with you all today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you can continue to please leave your lovely comments, your likes, your subscribes. You guys are always amazing. I'm so appreciative of all of you. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day, week, month, night, whatever you're having. Please enjoy yourself and please feel free to always continue leaving your video ideas. I would love to provide you guys the content that you like to see. So yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!